Hi, welcome to episode 36 of the AdoreKnit Podcast, a tale of two project bags. I'm your host, Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai on Ravelry and AdoreKnit Steph on Instagram. How are you doing today? I really wanted to record some foliage for you, and I have a special guest, whatever that bird is. I think it'll probably be talking to us the whole time we're out here. But yeah, we're kind of past peak here in New Hampshire. The beautiful maple tree, I think I talked about it last time, like the maple, the birch, they're all naked out here. And this one little orange tree is all I could find in my backyard. So that's what you get. And I'm happy to share a little bit of color with you. So let's talk about this tale of two project bags. I've done work on multiple projects. You know, you're being quite rude. Blue jay. I think it's a blue jay. Anyways, I've done multiple projects this past week. And as I was putting my things together to bring outside to record, I thought, you know, there's like the good project bag with projects that are good, that are behaving as I expect them to, and then there's the bad project bag, and that bag has the slightly frustrating, no fault of designers, but totally not wanting to keep going on those anymore projects. So, you know, just goes to show, no matter how good your intentions are when you start out a project, sometimes it's just not meant to be, and pushing it isn't worth your time and trouble. So, there's a bit of foreshadowing, I guess, or explanation. So I also have a prize drawing for September. I haven't heard back from, I think it's, I'll put her name across the bottom, our August prize winner. So if you know, I think it's Catherine Makes Things, something like that. If you know her, please give her a shout out and tell her to come over and watch the episode, because there's good things in store for her. So yeah, prize drawing, and then I'm going to do a mini shop update. Right now, the shop is fully 24/7 in advent calendars. So not a lot of new stuff going into the shop right now. As much as I would love to be designing Christmas for the shop, I've got to stay on my schedule for the advents. So that's where that's at. I'm going to pause this for a second and check to make sure that you're getting a good view. We have a good angle, and I will apologize. Roland and I have been running our 5Ks. We've done, 7 or 8 of them now. So our morning run, 3 mornings a week, is now a 5K, which is awesome. We run for 30 minutes straight. I'm so proud of us. But this morning was like a super mad rush to finish the run and get in the shower and run to the post office, because I was a day late on shipping some things, and I hate to be late. It drives me crazy. I get a little OCD about that. So I was in such a hurry, and I was so hot, you know, like usually when you work out, I give myself time for my body to cool down before I take a shower. And Steve was telling me I was dewy after my shower because I was so hot and sweaty. So yeah, I've cooled down a bit, but it is 56 degrees outside, and I'm perfectly comfortable in a t-shirt. So, but yes, my hair is wet and not styled. So, oh well, these are the things. Okay, so let's talk about the prize drawing. So this is for a $10 gift certificate to the AdoreKnit shop. And all you have to do to enter as many times as you want, is post a picture of your works in progress using our stitch markers or progress markers, and tag them with #AdoreKnit. It's easier if you don't use an S at the end, but I noticed some people do, so that's fine too. I'd grab you, but I'd rather you didn't. So for the month of September, we had 41 entries. And the winner was number 29, who is Elisa Knits. So I know she was doing a lot of work on a hat, and I loved seeing her progress as she went. And she was using one of our Halloween, 13 days of Halloween, the countdown. It's not an advent, but it's 13 packages leading up to Halloween. So she was using one of the mummy markers out of that. So that was exciting to see, and send me a private message. Elisa, I know you know how to contact me. So there's that. Okay, should we do the shop thing right away? Get that out of the way? Okay, let's do that. What's new for October in the AdoreKnit shop? Let's check it out. First, we have the new very large time turner and a new Harry Potter project bag. I love that fabric. It's so cute. And then we did a Happy Holidays 2-tone project bag with matching Notions pouch. I love the trees on the cars. And keeping on that Christmas theme, we have a running Santa and present. I love this one so much. Merry Christmas with an evergreen. And then this set, the silver bells, you can choose large or medium sized markers and your beginning of the round marker of choice. Nothing quite says Christmas like a Christmas quacker. This little duck and a hat with mittens. This is another excellent set, if I may say so. And then knitting plus coffee equals love. So here we have two options. You can either go with the coffee/teacup and saucer, or you can go with the knitted heart. Knitting friends make the best friends. Hashtag KFMTBF. This was inspired or requested by a group of friends, and each set symbolizes the colors of a particular knitter's heart, favorite colors. And so these were all designed, intended to be shared with friends. If you don't see the color you like here, you can always request it. So we've had Stranger Things in the past, and we're working on getting new sets in the shop. So that was season 1, and this is season 2. Season 3 coming shortly. All right, so thanks so much for checking us out. Okay, you're back. So, for some reason, I just want to chatter about what's been going on with us. So I think I'm going to record this out of order, and you're going to be like, wait, your hair was wet, and now it's drier, and now it's wet again. Maybe you're not as observant as I am. I think an acorn just fell, or a squirrel is causing some sort of trouble out here. I did not realize how distracted being outside would make me. Okay, so while I've been standing out here, I have seen, even though looking up, I don't see a lot of leaves left, but I've seen like 4 or 5 leaves falling. So maybe while I'm recording, some leaves will fall in the background and make this more interesting. All right, so the tale of 2 project bags is what we're up to. Should we start with the good projects or the bad? Let's start with, I think they're all new to you. Maybe. I don't know. Let's start with the bad. So they're not exactly bad. Okay, we'll just talk about it. So the first project are the Twisty Fingerless mitts I was working on to go with my vote hat. I think if you've seen one of these projects before, this is the one you will have seen. So I finished the first one, and I'm using some deep stash for this, which makes me exceedingly happy to get it out of my stash. Oh, this is not easy with the strings and the no table. Okay, wait. This is what they're for, right? Okay, there we go. So the yarn I'm using for this is Merino Big Super Fine. I think it's Lana Grossa. That's what I have in my head. There's a tag over it. Anyways, so it's this yarn. It was made in Italy. It is, Lana Grossa, 50 grams, 120 meters. I think it's a worsted, thick worsted, maybe an Arabic even. So the first one I finished, well, I haven't finished, but, and I'll put the name of the pattern along the bottom. I don't think I have the project page here. So there's the first one. Hopefully you can see the beautiful cable. There's my yarn, very clear directions. This is by Kate Carter Evans, who was a Pigskin Party sponsor last year, but is not this year. But that's fine. I'm happy to use her patterns. So very clear instructions on how to do that. I love the cable detail. I'm just gonna have to go back in and put a thumb in the first one. The second one, I am almost done. I know, I'm into no, I've done the ribbing. So for this first one, I believe it's called a sewn bind off. Yeah, sewn bind off? Be nice if I knew what I was talking about. It's the bind off or the cast off that is, you basically do Kitchener. So I knit to the point where the pattern said bind off, and I wanted to make sure I had a nice finished edge on this. For some reason, I felt that was important, and maybe I wanted to make them a little more interesting, having a fun cast off, just like mentally for me. So when I pulled out that book, the little spiral bound book, and I found how to do the Kitchener stitch bind off. I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, and from that point where you're ready to bind off, for that particular bind off, you knit another 2 or 3 rows, because you need to have room for your your stitches to separate into the front and the back, right? Because you do your purls and your knits and then you separate them. So this was a recommended bind off for ribbing. So anyways, so you needed to do a few extra rows. So I ended up making the ribbing that many rows longer, like 4 rows, let's say 4 rows longer. And I'm at the point of needing to start to do that. And that's why this project has gotten set aside and not finished. And since we are in the Pigskin Party knit along time of the year, which is a knit along hosted by Down Cellar Studios, the more quick projects I can do, the more points I score for my team. So I really need to get back to these and finish them up. Yeah, if I hold them even, you can see I've got, that is nowhere near right. No, oh boy. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I've worked my ribbing. I guess that's close-ish. For some reason, this almost always happens to me with knits. So, anyways, and that's the first project from that bag. The second project from that bag is the fine-tuned cowl by Locatelli, and I am using some sun-soaked yarn for this. This is her haunted hayride, no, not haunted, just hayride colorway. That's the blue color. That's beautiful. Beautiful blue-green color. And then the skein came with your choice. I think your choice. I don't think it was a buy-up option. I think that the contrasting heels toes were part of the listing. Don't quote me on that, though. You might want to go check if you, like me, fell in love with this color. 'Cause it totally reminds me of the color of the sky in the fall, and then sitting on the hay with the, goldenrod color. So this is the pattern. I'm not in love with the pattern. Can I say that? It's a bit confusing as to, and I've got my right side marked with my Pigskin Party thing. The right side and the wrong side were a bit confusing for me. Also, this pattern is meant to be knit flat, and then you provisionally cast on and you sew them together, so you have the big infinity cowl to loop around 3 times. So I wanted to use my contrasting yarn, and I think the pattern called for like 3 or 4 contrasting colors, and I wanted to use this gold as my contrast. So and I don't really like scarves, and I didn't feel the need to have an infinity cowl. I thought a once around cowl would be good. Yeah, This is knit on size 5s, 3.75 millimeter. And I don't think I'm giving anything away if I say that the first stitch of some of the rows are slipped and some of them are not, and that was confusing for me. I had a hard time. You can see it's a bit wonky over here. I don't think I did something right. At one point I was following the instructions for the wrong section. Oh no, it wasn't that. The way I was doing the short rows was wasn't gonna have the right angle, if that makes sense. So I ended up ripping a whole triangle back out, and at about this point that I'm at, and see, this isn't straight here, like the edges are driving me crazy that they're not nice and sharp, and I thought, well, I could pull a Steve and West and go through and do an I-cord on the edges, but that's more work than I want to put into this project. Plus, it's really wide. Someone's waving. Hi, guys. It's really wide. I don't need it this wide for a cowl. Like, I could probably, and I don't know if that's me with my loose gauge or what, or, part of, I don't think it looked this wide in the pattern, but I could be wrong. So I went back and forth for probably 3 or 4 days, because this is my October interception project for the PSP, Pigskin Party. And that requires you to use at least two different yarns. So this is what I was working on. I was gonna make it half the size of what the pattern called for. I was gonna use these beautiful yarns and love it, right? Garter stitch, squishiness, gorgeous, right? And I do really love these stripes of orange and the angles, but I don't love the way it's looking. So I don't have to rip it out at this point unless I want to use the hayride for another project, which I probably want to, because that is her exclusive colorway for the knit along this year. But I don't know. Let me know if you have any ideas of what I should do with this, because right now I'm not in love with it. I'm kind of in love with it. It's like 70% of what I envisioned, but it's not quite exactly what I envisioned, and so it's irritating me. And I am 1, 2, 3. I need to do 8 of these triangle pieces for triangle sections for the size I want to make this. So I'm not even halfway through, and I'm questioning, and I'm not loving, and so I don't know. And I'm looking at this now. Yeah, I don't think I did. I don't think right side, wrong side issues. Which doesn't matter with garter, but in this lace portion it kind of does. So I think this is the reverse side of that one. But I'm not sure, so maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know, but these are not making me super happy. The project's in that bag. So that's my timeout bag. All right, let's talk about my good bag, which is, I think this is like my 5th fall season with this bag. This is a Fat Squirrel Speaks bag, one of her first ones. I think it's from like her first year, but every fall I take this one out, and then I have a brown one. They're my fall ones, and then I have 2 winter ones I use every year. So it's like meeting up with an old friend, and it's so perfectly this time of year, isn't it? I love it. So in here are the good projects, the best of times projects. So the first one, the fingerless mitts from before are the Twisty fingerless mitts. Infinite Twist is the designer's show name. Okay, so you may have seen this, like the toe of this. And I'm sorry I don't have a blocker. This right here is my DVD sock for October. This is Close Encounters. Isn't it a gorgeous color? It's so fall. I love it. I could not love this colorway more. I think I say that about every one of her colorways. No, because September's I definitely could have loved more. And the James Bond color I could have loved more. I wasn't like totally in love with those. So when I'm not totally in love with them, I go to them. putting this. These are for me. I'm keeping these. So, yeah, the pattern is Scraptastic. Who's the designer? She's one of the sponsors. Excuse me. If I stand here and think, it will come to me. Wendy Gaal, Knitters Brewing Company. There you go. See? So this is a free pattern, and what I will say about it, it requires like 30% of my brain to knit this. So these have been slower this month because they're not just shut down at the end of the night and watch TV knitting for me. But I do very much love the pattern. I got to about here and tried it on and said, oh my God, that leg's so tight. So then I added in 8 more stitches. So for the second one, I'm going to have those, because you can see a little bit of bowing right there. I'm fine with that. For the second one, I'll have those from after the heel turn up. I'll keep them in there. And what can I say about these? Yeah, I really love them. I did a thing where I began and ended in the same colors. Normally I don't like to do that. I like to finish a stripe repeat. But the red, gold, orange section right here, I did some color management to, not to maintain my stripe width, but just to keep it kind of similar. And so doing this heel, this is the Wendy Johnson heel that I so much love. I went back to this just for a change. And you can see that orange section's really wide, and so is the gold. So I use those 2 stripes in there, and so, yeah. And I've got little bits and bobs inside this sock for doing the same thing on the second one. And the second one on October 22nd, holy cow, guys, I am so far behind. Is it the 22nd or is it the 23rd? No, it's the 23rd, because we have to go to the school and pick up supplies. I've been getting emails about this. Yeah. So I need to focus on this and stop focusing on what's fun to knit. That is my replacement interception project. So you can see that. I have a lot to do. I'll do it. Well, so Crazy Sock Lady, Kay, she just moved. Congrats, Kay. She had a sock pattern that I loved, but I didn't want to try it. It was like, oh, that's really pretty, but And then she released the pattern for Fingerless mitts, and I was like, okay, I'm in. So these are, because it's just even prettier as a mitt, these are her Rainbow Connection. It is written for, I think, a solid and 2 contrast colors, and you do like 4 stripes of 4 stripes of one color, 4 stripes of the other. I decided to use some leftover DVD sock yarn. That's the it's a Bond colorway. Spy Who Loved Me. I knit this, I want to say it was August socks. Anyways, so I decided to use that with some knit picks and just see where it led me. So it is a fingerless mitts pattern knit on size 1s. I have a lot of fingerless mitts, and while they are useful on our runs sometimes, I don't have that many wearing occasions for fingerless mitts, and I don't have that many pairs of knit mitts. So I'm going to keep going. I should be doing ribbing and binding off at about this point, but I'm gonna go all the way to the tip of my fingers. I don't know how I'm gonna do this with the pattern, but I'll figure it out. I might take notes because I will definitely need them to make the second one the same, or maybe I'll put this on holders and go over to the second one. Although then I don't know how much I need. Okay, I don't need to figure this out right now. Yeah, so there it is. So the stripe, which side's prettier to you? I think they're both really pretty, and I'm just letting it be. So hard for my OCD, but I'm letting it. So like that stripe right there, I'm not really OCD. I should not say that. That's like politically incorrect, but control freak, that's probably more what I am. It's really hard for me to let that go, but I am there's another one that the stripe is half and half. I'm not doing color management. I am just letting the yarns do their thing, and I'm loving the way that looks. I did cast on the large size, so you could see there's some extra fabric in here. I probably didn't need to do the large size, but in store-bought mitten gloves, I would buy a woman's size large, so that's why I went with this one, thinking that these are going to get worn and washed and worn and washed and worn and washed. And so that was part of my thinking of why, or reasoning behind choosing the Knit Picks yarn, because that's more of a workhorse yarn. And so yeah, they're gonna get dried, and they may shrink up a bit. I don't know. See, isn't the thumb so pretty? Yeah, I am so pleased with myself. This was totally outside of my comfort range of, on top of letting the colors change on their own, but also saying, like, this colorway itself has pink next to red. That's hard for me. Like, that's visually jarring for me. And then for me to say, yeah, okay, I'm gonna throw in maroon on top of that. Let's see how that does. And I love it. All right, I should stop ogling my hand, my knitting, but I'm really pleased. I did add in a couple, I will say this, a couple extra rows because I'm making it longer, and this design is shrunk down a bit, so the back side ends up a bit longer. I did add in, I think I've done 8 rows now on just the front, so back, and not doing the stripe, just to try and keep them to similar lengths. Because when, you know how sometimes with socks you put them on, if they're hand knit, and you have your patterning on the top of the foot and the bottom is stuck in it, and as you wear them, that toe, the cast on can sometimes shift over the top of your toe, and it'll end up pulling the heel down around to the bottom of your foot, and that's not ideal. So I'm trying to make sure that these are exactly the same length, since I'm making them extra long, so that doesn't happen, that the striping doesn't go over the tip of my fingers, that the striping stays on the inside, and that the cool stitching stays on the outside. So yeah, I love that. Okay. So that's it. I do have some new fiber nymph yarn that came in, so I have been caking, and I should have some worsted weight project cast on with that coming up soon. I'm not sure what I'm gonna knit, but I did put my queue in order early, like in September, during the planning for the pigskin party. So I have like 9 projects that I'm like, okay, these are happening. So none of the yarns I buy though are black and white, because I do want to do the Black Lives Matter mittens. Yeah, I mean, I know I have black and white, but anyways, so maybe that one will get pushed back a little bit further. But anyways, the fiber nymph, I did get her, I think it's compass points. It's beautiful. And I grabbed several of her grab bags. So lots of good yarn there. So that's in my future. You'll see it as I use it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm looking forward to some worsted weight greens and autumnal colors is basically what I went with over there. And yeah, I think I've got some life chatter for you. Okay, yes, I have had 2 cups of coffee, by the way. And it is Friday after the final presidential debate, which when I was in high school, as part of our, I want to say it was social studies, but the teacher I'm picturing was my English teacher, so I don't know. But we did volunteer in November at the polls, and I don't think, because we weren't legally old enough, all of us, to vote. I wasn't old enough at that point. I would have been 17, but we volunteered at the polls, and I remember the old people, excuse my label, the older people that were the poll workers being there, and I was just like, why are they so wrapped up in this? Hi, Roland. Why do they care so much about this stuff? And now that I'm about to cross the 40 bridge, I get it now. So yeah, just keep yourself educated. That's all I could say. And vote. Yeah, so we watched that last night, and I was way too amped up to go to bed after it was over. And so I think it was midnight before I went to bed, and then 6:30, Roland's wearing his wind pants in my room. Swish, 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 Mom! Getting me up and at 'em. So this morning our run we went to Wagon Hill, which is a park, nature preserve near us, which is great. It's like 5 acres, and people let their dogs run, and there's a ton of walking trails, but it is totally trail running. So jumping over roots and going over boardwalks, because there's swamps in some places, and dodging dogs and people, and it was an interesting run this morning. So yeah, I'm telling you all this because I'm sure at some point I am going to crash today and need a nap from the lack of sleep and the high activity. But right now, woohoo! Okay, so what's been going on with us? Mr. Zim, our little Azimondius, let's see, he's 5? What's today? Yep, he's 5 months old, and his little curls are coming in. Oh, I can hear crying of the Tristan. It's snack time. I wonder if you can hear it. This is one of the joys of homeschooling, is the 9:30 snack break. Right? No? And my little assistant here, your collar's kind of crooked. Yeah? So what's up, Tristan? Are you outgrowing all of your clothes? No? I don't know. Those legs are getting pretty long. He is outgrowing a lot of his clothes. That was kind of on my list of things to talk about. They had physicals. Steve was like, do we really need to have physicals? And it's like, yes, life has to go on. So the boys had their physicals, and Tristan is growing like a weed. Yeah, my big first grader. What did you read today for a book? What did Mrs. Metz read to you? That's something, the pumpkin?
No.
Vanishing
No,
pumpkin?
no.
She didn't read it? Did she end up reading Stella Luna instead?
Yeah, because of one person. Sam.
Because of Sam?
Yeah.
He needed, well, I know.
He didn't listen to the book. He should have listened.
He should have. Yesterday they read Stella Luna. Okay. But you did a really good job retelling it. I need to, whoa, re-enter your... No, it's not stable, and it's leaking, so be careful.
Where's it leaking?
There's gross water coming out of it because it's been left outside. But we're going to have a fire tonight, and Mama and Papa are coming over. So that'll be fun, right?
I'm going to give them snacks.
Snacks or hugs?
I'm going to be the snack person.
Oh, we don't have s'more stuff. Oh. Hey, that hurts. That hurts, crazy hair. All right, I would like to keep recording. So do you think you could... What would you say about Zim?
What do you mean?
Well, what's going on with Zim? What's he like? Tell the ladies a little bit about Zim.
He's wild?
He's wild.
I don't know what else.
You don't know what else? Okay, let's see.
He's playful.
Yeah. What did you think about going to Uncle Nate and Aunt Lauren's and watching the football game on Sunday afternoon projected on the big giant screen inside their barn and social distancing? What did you think about doing that?
Not fun.
No? Not fun? Yeah, you spent most of the time outside playing football with Roland, right?
What? No.
What did you guys do?
I played
They
mostly...
have a big farm.
What?
They have a big farm with lots of space for people to run around on. So what did you play?
We played with Nerf guns and
Nerf guns. Yeah. Lots of Nerf gun play. And we've been watching Voltron. What else?
I've been turning Legos that are Star Wars Legos into Voltron Legos.
Oh, well, that's cool. You can do that. All right, I think you should probably go have your snack.
Yeah, I'm
now.
going to.
All
I'm
right.
going to go get those snacks.
All right, bye, man.
Bye.
So yeah, he's growing like a weed, and so is Zim. Zim's coat is coming in, so he's got all these little baby waves. It's so adorable, but he does talk like crazy. And like, if he gets on the kitchen counters or the island in the kitchen, and I, Zim, get down. He talks back all the time. So we've started being a little more forceful in our Zim get down, because he's been with us for like 6 or 7 weeks, and it must be 6 weeks, and he does not get on. He gets on the counters with the same frequency that he did when he first got here, and we're being really careful about leaving out food and picking up and washing counters down. So there's like no food reinforcement available for him. He's just curious, and yeah, so a little more forceful, a little scruffing, because the spray bottle has not been working. He is just like, whatever, you're getting me wet. Okay, I'll jump down to the chair. Okay, now I'll jump back up. Oh, brat. But he is, we haven't had a kitten for a while, but he is very full of personality. I forgot that Aphrodite is such a mellow, chill, go with the flow kind of cat. Like, she is just so easygoing. Linus was not. He had a personality, but it was more like ornery, and Mac was just running away purring was his nickname. Like, he was just full of love, but a little bit more on his terms. Zim has opinions. So that's that. Roland he is up to, I think this must be 3 months with braces. Yeah, 3 months now, and I'm so pleased. Can I just tell you that he's 9, and this is round 1 of braces. I'm guessing we're probably gonna have a retainer. Maybe not, I don't know. But this is supposed to be for like 6 months, and then when he's 11 or 12, he'll get like the 2-year plan, where maybe not 2 years, I don't know. I'm just using that as an example, but this is not the finished product, is what the orthodontist has told me. Like, this is just to fix his crossbite. So fine. His bottom teeth, beautiful. They're like out. It's only been 3 months. They're like almost in a row now. And his front teeth, they put an elastic band between them this last time. It's like magic. My son got my teeth, which I had these giant buck teeth that were going 2 different directions, and of course I had braces, and now he's had them too, and so I'm just so glad that his teeth are in the interim between first round of braces and second round of braces. He's not gonna have that big gap. And I know some of the college girls at UNH thought that big gap was adorable, but I also know that it can interfere with your speech, having had it myself. And mine, I didn't have braces at all until I was 11. So anyways, I'm just really pleased with how his braces are going. So, and while I'm talking about everybody, what about Steve? Steve is good. Steve's big news is that I ordered him a new office chair, because his other one, we've WD-40'd it several times, and it's super paddy, but now it's old, so the padding's really pushed down, and he doesn't want any sort of foam replacement or anything. And so I just said, you know what, you're getting an ergonomic mesh shape to you for your size chair. So the one he has is for his size, but I just wanted to make sure that the chair he got was similar to the quality that he would have at the office if he were going into the office and not working from home. So I took care of it. So that's his big news. Yeah, okay. And then I will wrap up the show and say thank you so much for joining me on this relatively cool. Oh, it's winding. That means leaves are falling. I'm seeing them in front of me, so you must be seeing them in back of me. Yes, leaving. It's like snowing, but with leaves. I'm such a geek. I know, but the fall is like the most beautiful time of the year. It totally is. So I hope you are going for walks or runs, or just getting out and sitting in your car and knitting in a beautiful spot where you can see some scenery that makes you smile, some mountains or oceans or beautiful foliage, anything that gets you out of your house and connects you with nature and makes you happy. So until we talk again in 3 or 4 weeks, I hope you have a great fall. All right.